The level of electoral fuckery in New York on the eve of the primary has even caught the attention of New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Now, according to US Uncut, Mayor de Blasio is demanding an explanation from the city's Board of Elections after the purge of registered Democrats in Brooklyn has doubled from 63,000 to 126,000 people. They have been purged from the voter rolls. 126,000 people. Jesus. Now, more details. Kings County, where Brooklyn is located, has seen a 7% drop in the number of registered Democratic voters between November 2015 and April 2016. But a new investigation by WNYC has revealed that the New York City Board of Elections actually purged 126,000 voters in that time period, which is a 14% drop within the last 5 months. Now, Mayor de Blasio wants to know what the fuck's going on. He told WNYC, quote, "This number surprises me. I admit that Brooklyn has had a lot of transient population. That's obvious. Lots of people moving in, a lot of people moving out. That might account for some of it. But I'm confused since so many people have moved in that the number would move that much in the negative direction." Well, that is kind of funny, Bill. That is kind of funny. It's very interesting. Kings County, they report, was just one of 7 counties out of a total of 63 where the number of registered Democrats fell, while registration increased in all the other 56 counties. Doesn't that look a little weird to you guys? A little strange. There could be a little fuckery going on here. Now, the New York City Board of Elections weighed in and claimed that the number is explained by 12,000 voters moving out of the borough, 44,000 voters being moved from active to inactive voter lists by not having voted in 4 years or more, and 70,000 voters being taken off the inactive list. Michael Ryan, executive director of the City Board of Elections, said the reason Kings County has such a dramatic drop in the number of registered voters is due to election officials in Brooklyn being shitty at their jobs. That's actually not what it says. It's actually them being 6 months to a year behind updating the voter rolls due to elections. Quote, "When there is an election event, work stops getting done." Or maybe you just suck. Maybe I'm being unfair about that. Maybe I don't know how much, but seriously, when you have an election, I mean, it's not as if New York was the very first state. New York is not Iowa. They've had months now to prepare. They've had since the summer to prepare for this. They should have seen after Iowa, look at that, record turnouts for all these, especially for Republicans, but there are other Democrats, there are other officials, there's the parties that should have known that there was going to be huge turnouts and a lot of people trying to register to vote, or a lot of people wanting to vote. They should have known. Okay? It's like they've seen everything that's going on in the other states and we're like, you think we should do something about it? Pfft, no. That involves actual work. Are you kidding me? This is an absolute failure in preparation. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Look, previous reporting shows that many registered Democrats had their registration switched to independents or not affiliated. I've reported on that before. And the timing, look man, the timing to me is pretty goddamn sketchy, considering how this happened just days before a primary election. Add on some of the reports from polling places that are being closed, voting machines being broken, and essentially what you have is an Arizona-style shit show going on. Now, we all know what's going on in Arizona, right? It's gotten so bad that the Justice Department is investigating, and both Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, their campaigns, are suing over voter disenfranchisement. It's something that Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are united on. Both of their campaigns, with all the rhetoric that's been traded, they both agree that electoral fuckery happened in Arizona. And it's happening. The same shit is happening right here in New York. right here. Now, with all that said, there might actually be some good news. Now, yesterday I reported that hundreds of people sued the New York Board of Elections over these purges, right? Now, according to Shylin Nelson of Election Justice USA, they had just formally served notice to the Board of Elections and the Attorney General. I think they did that this morning. And in an interview with TYT reporter Jordan Sheridan over at TYT Politics, she told him that if a judge ends up ruling in their favor, then all provisional ballots that are cast today could be counted. So that might be some good news. And that's obviously going to have an impact on what happens tonight during the primary if that rules in their favor. But I have to note, we would have none of these problems in New York if they had an open primary system. And it turns out that New York has one of the most restrictive primaries in the nation and the earliest registration period. Isn't that amazing? They're one of the last few states to go, and yet they have the earliest registration period. Who came up with these rules? They're fucked up. And that is definitely not right. It's not right. And to those who are saying that only Democrats should be allowed to vote in the Democratic primary, well, to that I say, you're kind of missing the point on the idea of democracy.